Hi, this is Andy with Mountain Computers, the Go Green PC Tune-Up Guy. Today is October 31st. It's 2019. It's Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. Today's letter is O for Oscar. So, anyhow, we're going to talk about opinions, computer opinions. People have opinions. Output, like in printers, screens, etc. Outlook. Office. Open office. Obfuscate. That's a tricky word. Obfuscate. OCR. OLTP. OLAP. OLAP. Onboard, motherboards, etc. Online or offline. OpenGL, open source, optical drives, overclocking and overheating. That's a lot, but I'm going to be really quick about it today, so time me. I'm going to try and do this in 10 minutes. By the way, we're going to move our contact from the Mountain Computers website over to the GoGreenPCTuneUp.com website, GoGreenPCTuneUp.com. So share that. Like, subscribe, and share. Okay? Thumbs up too. So let's talk about opinions. I help so many people out every day, and everybody has great ideas and great opinions, and they know the history of their computer. And what's important is when I give you good advice and you continue to repeat yourself, I sometimes wonder whether or not you actually heard my feedback, my opinion, my questions and answers. So what's important is listening skills, critical thinking skills. When you tell me your story about your computer and I go through a series of checklists, open to closed questioning, it's important that my opinion and what we can do to fix your problem, we expedite that to be more efficient with your time and my time. So, opinions. You have an opinion, I have an opinion. You have more history with your computer than I do, but I've seen more computers in my lifetime than you ever will. I've seen probably over 1 million computers, or 10 million, or whatever. And it's just like doctors, dentists. We're all professionals. Plumbers, electricians. I trust their opinion. I go with it. I think about it, but at the same time, trust my opinion. Preface it. I always preface my opinion based on what you tell me and the history we have. And we try to get things done pretty quickly. I don't like to waste people's time, let alone my time. So anyhow, opinions. Everybody's got one, and it's important to just go with it. Understand that computers are easy. However, some people make it more harder than it should be. So just think about that. Let's talk about output. Output is everything. Back in the day, when people would buy a computer and a printer, they'd spend more money on the computer than the printer. I did just the opposite. I put as much money into my printer as my computer. Because when you print that report, you print that resume, you print whatever, that's reflecting on you. So output is everything. Some people say it's not what you say, it's what you do. Well, that's more or less output. So think about that. Outlook. A lot of people use Microsoft Outlook. A lot of people use OpenOffice or Office 2010, 2013, 2016, 2019. What I want you to know about Outlook, OpenOffice, or LibreOffice actually, is that those are great programs, but when they go sideways and they have problems, it's best to just uninstall it and reinstall it. But you got to have your serial numbers. So when it comes to Outlook, it's a great product. And some people have tons of email accounts. I only have 3 or 4 in my email. But when it comes to Outlook, you got to know how your computer configuration is. That's all. Obfuscate. That's when you try to make something look one way when it's really another. So when I write software and I write serial number systems or token integrated systems, I will obfuscate the communications. There's an algorithm or formula that I develop. I won't use off-the-shelf stuff. I develop my own and make sure it's strong, real strong. So it's important. Obfuscate your work, have codes, have tokenized, use mathematics very carefully, but make it strong. Okay? OCR, Optical Character Recognition. That was popular a long time ago. Like you'd scan in a document and then it would be converted back to text. Our artificial intelligence these days can take a look at a picture and get the text out of it. That's amazing. So optical character recognition, like looking at license plates, looking at faces, facial recognition. That is cool. That is really cool. So learn more about it if you're interested, okay? OLAP and OLTP, that's all about databases. OLAP, that's post-processing of data, analytically looking at data. Sierra Nevada Corporation, big company. They have both OLTP, live data that needs to be taken care of, and my comment about them the other day, it was good stuff. I mean, I said 7 divisions, it was really 7 companies. I looked at that in post and I was like, it's okay, it doesn't matter. It's not like it's a secret, it's right on their website. But getting data and doing high-speed transaction processing and high-speed analytical processing, you got to know what you're doing. No matter what the size of the data set is or how many transactions per second you're having to deal with. The casinos. Casinos have a lot of data, a lot of player tracking, a lot of money tracking. Several of the casinos, they still use Flash on some of their player interfaces, which is really bad. I mean, some of them you can crack just by moving your hands the right way. Next thing you know, your player tracking is busted. I don't know why they don't fix it or get rid of it, but that's true. But that kind of transaction processing, where I can just take my fingers and move it a little and bust their player interface, I mean, this one big casino group downtown, that's a big problem. I hope they hired some people to hopefully fix that. Some applications, some security people. Hopefully they fixed it. I gave them the heads up a year ago. 6 months later, they hired some people. But when it comes to processing data, player tracking and all that stuff is very vital. Very vital. The airport, another big one. FAA, ATC, all that stuff. Transactional processing, analytical processing. Airport terminals. What's, parking. I mean, all that stuff. You should have metrics on everything, and you should have a master plan, a master map for that. So think about it. OLTP, OLAP. Those 2 things in your business, okay? Let's talk about something a little bit easier. Let's talk about onboard or above board things. On a motherboard, the main component in your computer, there'll be stuff that's onboard, like the keyboard, network jack, sound, audio, stuff like that, and this stuff. Then there are things above board, like a above board video card, PCI slots, PCI Express slots, even your front header. Those are sort of above board components, okay? So think about that. Online and offline. You need to know when you're online and your computer's online and when it goes offline and vice versa. I can't tell people enough. I tell them when they walk up to a computer, press the numeric key to see if the computer is on or off, if the screen is off, to see if the computer's on. It's just a quick check. With the internet, with being online or offline, in Outlook, in the bottom right, it'll say online, connected to, or available. But if it says working offline, big red X, then you're offline. You should look at that and pay attention to that and know that. Same with your network connection on your computer. It'll either be a globe and say, I'm not connected, or it'll be some, like wireless, it'll have, how many bars are you connected to? It's just like your phone. Or a LAN connection, local area wired RJ45 connection. Are you plugged in? Is it alive? Opening up your browser to see if you're online isn't the way. You really need to keep an eye on those little things in the bottom corner. OpenGL, we're going to skip that. Open source. I love open source tools, especially for development. So, what's my favorite? I really don't have a favorite. But, open source is great, and closed source is just as good. I think software should be free, but then there is value add to paying for certain things with software. Not necessarily as a service, software as a service like SaaS, and there's PaaS and Internet as a service and so on and so forth. But however, open source is great because I love to be able to read the code. I loved a closed source application that becomes open source and I get to read the code. That's awesome. So thumbs up to the open source people. Optical drives, media. Optical drives we don't put in computers anymore. Back in the day, I helped create the DVD specification along with the DMF specification at Microsoft. I can tell you, they had no specifications and standards on the drives, but they did on the media. There was like orange book, red book, whatever. But that was on the media. And then the drive manufacturers, they were all over the board. That's why sometimes a disk would work in one computer and not in another. That's why. Overclocking and overheating. We're almost done. We don't overclock our computers unless there's a button on the motherboard that says auto overclock, and then if it fails, we kick it back. Enable, boost, disable, boost, with an X on the keyboard or a D to disable it. So we don't like computers overheating. We don't like overclocking unless it's necessary, and in most cases it's not necessary. And that's about it. Today was O. Want to be quick about it. I think I'm a few minutes over. But other than that, though, we did opinions. Everybody has them. Output, Outlook, Obfuscate, OLAP, OLTP, onboard, online, offline, open source, optical drives, overclocking, and overheating. That's it for today. Folks, this is Andy from Mountain Computers, the Go Green PC Tune-Up Guy. Like, subscribe, and share, and have a great day.